know, full disclosure, folks, long ago and far away, there was a set of repeated grandfathers that were called Henry Clay Keene. And if you go to Henry Clay High School in Lexington, Kentucky, you have an interior knowledge of the Whigs, their success, and their failure in the 19th century. Andy Barr joins us now. He is a member of the GOP, which is what you are in Kentucky, and joins us from the 6th Congressional District and from the capital of this nation. Andy, you're more qualified than Mitch McConnell to talk about this trap of your GOP going the way of the Whigs. What do the Republicans do to not repeat Henry Clay's history?
Well, that's a great question, and obviously there is some soul searching. Anytime you lose a presidential election, a party should do that. We're doing that, and I think we've come to a good place as of last night with our meeting to make sure people understand the Republican Party is a big tent, diverse party. We have a small number of colleagues who voted to impeach the president, a large number of members who voted against impeaching the president. But we recognize that we need to attract a lot of people to the Republican Party because we're the party of free enterprise and limited government. And as you see from this president, it's a very different story.
We have a president preaching bipartisanship. Is your party too frugal? Are the Republicans too austere for 2022?
No, not at all. In fact, some would argue we're not fiscally responsible enough given the $4 trillion that we borrowed last year in response to the pandemic. But the truth of the matter is we have over $1 trillion in unspent stimulus funds left, and we're rushing to borrow another $2 trillion. That's why you're not seeing a lot of bipartisanship. Unfortunately, the president is not working with Republicans. They're using a budget procedure to ram through this $2 trillion in
Oh, come on. You guys used the same procedure. Stop it.
Well, we did.
You did the same procedure last time around.
We certainly did, and there's nothing inherently wrong with using the procedure, but if you want to be bipartisan about it, you don't use that procedure, frankly. And this president has said that he wants to be bipartisan, but when he had the opportunity to do it, he's obviously turned away from that.
Congressman, we've got to get through a lot of topics, not just stimulus, but also on regulation. I understand you're on the House Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations as well. Given the events in the last couple of weeks in financial markets, leading the administration is Secretary Yellen. Do you think she needs to recuse herself from this?
Well, I don't know if she needs to recuse herself, but what I want to see from Secretary Yellen is a little bit of caution and deliberation and not a lot of overreaction to this. The broader markets are doing just fine. Obviously, there was volatility with respect to Reddit-fueled trades on Gamestop and other AMC and other equities. But that's actually as a result of the advent of zero-cost trading and the democratization of access to the capital markets. That's not a bad thing. And I think what you're seeing is the markets actually functioning fairly well with market discipline setting in, both with the hedge funds who are learning a lot about zero-cost trading and the influx of day trading and what that means for their short positions. It means that short squeezes are very possible, and I think there's market discipline that will set in with these hedge funds and professional Wall Street professionals. On the other hand, I think a lot of the day traders and the small investors are learning about capitalism, learning that fundamentals matter, learning that earnings and valuation matter, and that on the downside of this rally, as investors get in too late in the rally, and as they get too far away from valuation, there is a big risk associated with that, too. So the market is actually working. Of course, it's appropriate for the SEC and Congress to look at whether or not any laws have been violated from a market manipulation standpoint. But to me, at this point, doesn't look like any illegal activity and certainly doesn't look like any systemic risk.
Congressman, there is a larger debate, though, about anonymity on social media and the ability of unknown actors to act manipulatively, to act without oversight from regulators, potentially from within or from outside of the country. How much is the direction of questioning going to go toward that issue?
I think there will be some questions about social media. There's questions about social media all the way around, both in terms of financial marketplaces, but also in the marketplace of ideas. And that's always appropriate for us to look at social media, the role of social media. But I think the more information generally, the better. People need to understand the sources of that information. But at the end of the day, I believe that democratization of access to capital, the advent of low-cost, no-cost trading platforms, and more information is a good thing. It's not illegal to share stock tips or ideas about the equity markets.
Congressman Barr, very quickly here, not enough time. I don't care about that. What I care about, are we going to endure with another running of the Kentucky Derby May 1st?
Yes, we will. In fact, I've talked to Churchill Downs. They're never going to do what they did last year and shut down the Derby on the first Saturday in May. And that's a good thing. As co-chairman of the Congressional Horse Caucus, we want the Derby to be back on the first Saturday in May.
There we go.
We hope it will be with spectators.
We'll see if we'll get the spectators.
As a foreigner,
there.
I'm not sure if that caucus even exists
The
or not.
Congressional Horse Committee? Is
Andy,
that
does
real?
that exist? Is that a thing?
No, look, you know, there's a lot of betting that goes on in Kentucky.
Oh, really?
There's some speculative trading that we've seen. But you know what I love? I love that you know, a lot of the millennials are participating in the stock market now, and some people have said that millennials are more open to socialism. It looks like from this GameStop story that many millennials are more interested in capitalism. That is a good thing.
I just want to find out who's running the book down on Capitol Hill for the Republicans. Great to catch up, Andy. Let's continue this dialogue. Andy Barr there, Republican from Kentucky. Congressman, thank you.